Renzo Gang. You know what time it is. Part 3. Insane Lore of Mortal Kombat Part 3. We gonna dive on into this because this is a long video. And I'm gonna be breaking this down into more and more parts. So Renzo Gang, enough of all this yapping I'm doing. I know y'all ready to get into it. Let's dive on into this video. Yeah.
Well, it's
Start
combat
off where we
time!
left off.
Mortal Kombat!
Question a
There we
great
go.
many things. Why does she feel so out of place with her father? Why doesn't her twin sister Melina pop up in her childhood memories? This leads her to doing some investigative work and uncovering a major secret. She learns of Shang Tsung's flesh pits. In order to learn how to shapeshift and how to steal souls, the sorcerer had to experiment. He's something of a scientist, you see.
Yeah, he is.
And so, Shao Kahn gave
And
him
he's sick
access
and
to a
twisted.
laboratory/dungeon where he committed some of the worst atrocities imaginable. Lots of people getting captured and tortured, including someone named Kotal, who would be killed in the original timeline by these experiments. Shang Tsung once created a bloody meat skeleton that managed to escape the lab and somehow survive in its unfinished state. This is the origin of the playable character known as Meat. But by far, Shang Tsung's greatest creation was an identical clone bred to be the daughter that Shao Kahn always wanted. He created Melina, but that's not all. In order to increase her ferocity and give her that killer edge, he also cross-mixed Kitana's DNA with that of a Tarkatan. So underneath Melina's mask lies the same hideous razor mouth that Baraka and his cohorts have.
Baraka.
How the fuck did Kitana never see that? At least in Mortal Kombat 9, they make it so that she meets Melina for the first time, but in the original timeline, I mean, these girls are 10,000 years old. What, Melina just never took her mask off ever? They never had to shower or have girl talk or anything? But yeah, Melina is definitely more sadistic, more evil, and she's not above cannibalism as she enjoys eating her enemies. We also learn in her ending that she and Baraka are a secret couple behind the scenes.
Duh.
Gee, I wonder why.
Repulsive human.
Y'all didn't know that?
Baraka's repulsive.
Who told you this?
Needless to say, this revelation shatters Kitana's world. All of a sudden, she remembers everything. Sindel, Jared, Edenia. This isn't the life she's supposed to have. It's all bullshit. Melina, who had been under orders from Shao Kahn to spy on her sister, now decides to end her pitiful existence once and for all. The two sisters battle until only one remains.
Kitana wins.
God damn! Yeah, Kitana does kill Melina in Mortal Kombat 2. Though maybe she didn't cut her head off, maybe she knocked her off the pit. Or maybe she gave her a sweet goodbye kiss.
The kiss of death.
Kitana wins.
How the fuck did she do that? If I were Liu Kang, I'd be very nervous.
Yeah,
but still,
I would.
Shao Kahn's adoptive daughter turns from the dark side and officially joins the forces of light. The only other conflict I can speculate about is Sub-Zero and Scorpion. In MK4, they're still enemies. Scorpion wants to kill Sub-Zero, and that kind of flies in the face of his 2 and 3 endings, where Scorpion realizes that the younger brother is far more merciful and therefore could not be his family's killer. He chooses to be his protector and keep him from harm, but then in MK4, he changes his mind for no reason at all. I'm going to assume they never reconciled and that Sub-Zero defeated him in a fight. Regardless, both characters survive to fight another day. Also worth mentioning is that there is a stage called the Pit 2, and in the background we see a green monk battling a man on fire. This flaming fighter is named Blaze, and they
so that was Blaze in the early
being abducted. Trust me, this character will be very, very important going forward.
He was annoying in Mortal Kombat Armageddon.
Outcome relies entirely on Liu Kang. He defeats Baraka and once again comes face to face with Shang Tsung. Despite being younger and pissed off over his last defeat, he still comes up short against the Shaolin. In the semifinals, Shao Kahn unleashes a Shokan warrior that's meant to be even more brutal and fearsome than Goro.
Kintaro.
Apparently, the Shokan have feline variants of themselves, as this guy has a tiger stripe pattern as well as a cute little kitty cat nose. He screams really loud, but he still cannot get the job done.
Of course.
So it all comes down to this. The Emperor gets to show off his skills. The only thing stopping him from claiming Earthrealm is this puny little monk.
You will die, mortal.
And yet, this is something Liu Kang has been training for his entire life. The battle is fierce, it is exhausting, and yet somehow, some way, Liu Kang manages to defeat the Emperor of Outworld.
Surprisingly.
No.
And somehow Shao Kahn managed to survive exploding into a whole bunch of stone blocks. But there we go. Liu Kang retains his title as the Mortal Kombat champion, thereby ensuring complete amnesty from
Liu Kang a
Outworld.
beast.
A rather shocking event for the people in the audience. Jax manages to free both Sonya and Kano, but unfortunately the Black Dragon Thug manages to escape in the shuffle, disappearing into a nearby portal. Still, Jax is just relieved that nothing bad happened to his lieutenant. No longer welcome in Outworld, Kitana decides to follow Liu Kang and the Forces of Light back to Earthrealm.
This is Mortal Kombat
The
vs.
vibe
DC
is
right here.
ultimately bittersweet. Sure, Shao Kahn is lost, but the White Lotus Society is still very much eradicated. Our Shaolin champion will always honor the people who were sacrificed to achieve this peace. Too bad it won't last for much longer. Remember when I said I would leave Earthrealm alone? That's right, Shao Kahn, you did. I lied.
The Meek shall inherit the earth. Mortal Kombat 3.
So Shao Kahn definitely lost in the Outworld tournament, but he wasn't without a backup plan. Somehow he discovered that he is allowed to cross over into other realms through one single loophole. If his bride is misplaced in another realm, he is allowed to step through the dimensional gates to reclaim her. Now, of course, Sindel is deceased, but he still has Shang Tsung and a whole bunch of magical shadow priests who can bring people back from the dead.
I'm
So
sick
for
of
their
Shang
new
Tsung.
plan, Shao Kahn resurrects Sindel on Earthrealm, thus allowing his armies safe passage to cross over and invade. Also, they managed to brainwash the Queen, making her completely subservient to the Outworld Emperor. Now, admittedly, this scenario raises too many questions. Why did it have to be Sindel? What was stopping Shao Kahn from just marrying Jade and sending her over? It's not like he has a problem sending troops since he massacred the White Lotus Society. In MK9, they changed the explanation a little by saying that
Yeah, they
Sindel
did.
created a magical ward to protect Earthrealm when she ended her life. But then MK11 completely retcons that too, so, whatever. Do you want Mortal Kombat 3 or not? The point is, this game is no longer about a tournament. It's a
pretty
straight-up
much.
invasion.
Invasion.
And now the Emperor is using every piece on the chessboard. Since Goro and Kintaro proved to be utterly useless against Liu Kang, his affection shifts from the Shokan to the Centaurs, an army of half-human, half-horse savages who have
Motaro.
augmented their bodies with cybernetics. This means they're able to shoot lasers out of their tails. It's metal as fuck. They are led by General Motaro. If they could bring Sindel back from the dead, you can bet they can do the same for Melina. Yep, they
Obviously.
resurrect Daddy's favorite girl, and she is burning with revenge for Kitana. The Emperor declares Sindel's daughter to be a traitor to Outworld, one that needs to be taken care of as soon as possible. For this, he approaches Jade, Kitana's best friend and bodyguard. Another Edenian forced into servitude, the Green Ninja Girl has loyally served Shao Kahn for generations.
Yeah.
But now she's between a rock and a hard place. If she doesn't follow her orders and capture her friend, she'll be an enemy to Shao Kahn as well. She is to be accompanied by Reptile, who has received a conflicting directive. Whereas Jade needs to capture Kitana,
I hate how they
Shao
used to
Kahn
square up
tells
back
the
then in early
Zaterran to
Mortal
just
Kombat
straight up
games.
kill her. Well, gee, that won't lead to any conflict, now will it? Also joining the fray this time around is
Rain.
the Purple Ninja Rain. Another former Edenian, this guy actually sold out his realm by betraying a rebel faction. See, he wanted to lead the group, but they all thought he was too power-hungry and selfish. Well, if that's how they feel, fuck those guys. I'm joining Shao Kahn. Rain has the ability to manipulate water. And he's not the only ninja, as Shao Kahn also has a red one named Ermac. So the whole entire time that Khan's been conquering realms, he's also been collecting the souls of every single person he kills, creating soul chambers in his fortress to contain them for whatever purpose he desires. Along with revitalizing Shang Tsung's youth, he also created a special human vessel that is made up of a collection of these souls. That is Ermac. Consider their pronouns they, them, as the Red Ninja is a legion of identities, all occupying the same body. This grants them incredible abilities, including levitation and telekinesis. Despite having multiple personalities all vying for control, Shao Kahn keeps them in line with his dark magic. They are still completely obedient to their emperor. Also joining the forces of darkness is Noob Saibot, a shadow ninja who hails from the Netherrealm.
For those that don't know who that is,
he's literally just a ninja again, but completely black.
See, do you know who that is, though?
Extra characters to the games, the developers would bypass their memory limitations by basically just recoloring everybody. Kitana, Jade, Melina, Scorpion, Reptile, Rain, Ermac, they all use the exact same sprites. As the games go on...
Do you know who Ermac, I mean not Ermac, but Noob Saibot is?
But you know, Mortal Kombat is famous.
Noob Saibot is the first Sub-Zero, the dead Sub-Zero behind. That's who Noob Saibot is. Unless... Well, that's who he was in the Mortal Kombat 9. I don't know if that's here, but Mortal Kombat 9, Noob Saibot is behind.
For having ninjas of every color of the rainbow, and that's basically why. Anywho, Noob Saibot,
they don't have an orange one,
is Tobias Boone, the two co-creators of Mortal Kombat, is basically a revenant, a member of the Brotherhood of Shadow who has been ordered by his Lord Shinnok to assist Shao Kahn. Noob has the ability to will his own shadow into existence, essentially creating a tag team partner, which is a very scary thing.
Very. Bro,
oh my God.
I
instinctively grabbed myself. That's how uncomfortable that was. Good lord. Now, there are details about all of these ninjas that I'm leaving out, but we'll leave that for their appropriate twist reveals. Next in the bad guy lineup is Shiva, a female Shokan who serves as Queen Sindel's bodyguard. She's always been loyal to the Emperor, but lately that dedication has faltered because of his admiration towards the Centaurs. See, Shokan and Centaurs, they're basically mortal enemies. They hate each other, and to see Motaro become the de facto leader of Shao Kahn's extermination squads, that really doesn't sit right with her. Still, she will do her duty as any good warrior would. And finally, I did want to mention that despite being locked up during the last tournament, the Black Dragon thug Kano sees the way the wind is blowing and decides to align with Outworld. In fact, he uses his black market connections to supply Shao Kahn with tons of Earth weapons. A Tarkatan is deadly. A Tarkatan with a rocket launcher? Well, that's just a good Friday night. On the opposite side of the conflict, Sonya and Jax would make a desperate plea to their superiors about the crazy shit that's happened to them in the last two games. They beg for government funding to protect themselves from Outworld, but it all falls on deaf ears. Sub-Zero and Smoke return to the Lin Kuei headquarters to find that things have changed quite a bit. In order to improve the deadly capabilities of their clan, the Grand Master decides to incorporate technology into his warriors. Now you might think, oh, he's gonna give them cool gadgets and weapons and stuff. No.
Cyrax.
Instead, the Grandmaster tells everybody that they will now be cyberized, that their bodies will be encased in metal shells, their brains hardwired to obey commands. Basically, they have to turn themselves into robots. In fact, the Grandmaster's son, Sector, is the first volunteer who
I didn't know he was
this the operation.
See, I didn't know Sector was a Grandmaster's son. I didn't know that. I never knew that.
Because he believes in the cause and feels that becoming cyber is the natural evolution of the Lin Kuei. The second person to undergo these experiments is Cyrax, a warrior who hails from Botswana. While he does resist surrendering his consciousness to the cause, he knows ultimately that there is no leaving the Lin Kuei. He reluctantly allows himself to become cyberized.
Smoke
Sub-Zero and
will.
Smoke are horrified by what the Lin Kuei has become, and so they both decide to make a break for it. While Kuai Liang does receive a nasty scar in the escape, he does still manage to get away.
Yep.
Smoke,
Kuai Liang.
however, is not so lucky. The robotic assassins manage to subdue him and go on to completely rob his humanity. Tomas forever stuck in his robotic shell. And so, Sector, Cyrax, and Smoke all have but one mission: to capture the rogue Lin Kuei, Sub-Zero.
Yep.
And with that, the stage is set for Outworld to invade Earthrealm. They first arrive in the middle of New York City, where Shao Kahn sends his extermination squads to hunt down Raiden's warriors. Because
I like these
getting
insane
humiliated
lures,
by
man.
Liu Kang will not stand. They don't find the Shaolin champion right away, but Motaro does manage to find Johnny Cage. And while the movie star makes a valiant effort, he is no match for the Centaur. Johnny Cage is killed.
Page 62, Johnny Cage dies?
crap.
Is someone high?
This is extra confirmed in Mortal Kombat 9, showing how Motaro stabbed him with a big spear. That's,
I
not
thought it was
good.
somebody else.
It gets even worse when the Emperor sends his Shadow Priests to spawn a massive soul-sucking tornado. A soul-nado, if you will. This giant whirlwind of destruction is so powerful that it manages to suck up every life force in Earthrealm. Oh yeah, it's that damn strong. The
Yep.
only people who manage to keep their souls intact are the forces of light, as well as a few new faces whose determination kept them alive. Like the New York police officer Curtis Stryker, a really strong member of the law who single-handedly took out a building of terrorists all by himself and managed to stop a speeding bus that was rigged to explode. That's right, his backstory is both Die Hard and Speed. Anywho, the guy is very talented, and so Raiden recruits him into the fold. Next up is Nightwolf, a Native American shaman who can communicate with spirits and even exorcise them. He has the amazing ability to spawn deadly light from the heavens, as well as ethereal weapons. His sacred land acts as a nice refuge for the warriors of light, one where Shao Kahn's forces cannot find them. And the last human to be spared was Cabal. A former member of the Black Dragon, this guy likes to fight with sharp hook swords. Growing a conscience, he found he was unable to keep rolling with guys like Kano. But as soon as the invasion happened, he came face to face with Kentaro and his extermination squad, and they horribly mutilated the guy. Badly scarred, he could only survive by wearing a giant breathing apparatus, one which covers his face in a ghastly mask. On the plus side, he did find that these otherworldly injuries gave him super speed, the ability to run really fast like the Flash. He joins Raiden's crew to get revenge on Shao Kahn. In order to combat these enemies, Jax decides that he needs an upgrade, and so he fits his arm with indestructible bionic implants. Now the guy has metal arms that no doubt hurt like hell to be punched with. These arms are so iconic with the character, he would never take them off. But anywho, what happened in Mortal Kombat 3? Well, a lot of things, actually. Firstly, Reptile and Jade managed to find Kitana, but since the Green Ninja is hell-bent on killing his prey, Jade decides that she has to make a choice. She chooses to side with her best friend and the forces of light, killing Reptile in the process.
Ooh, they kill Reptile.
Jade wins.
So yeah, Jade's a good guy now. Her and Kitana continue onwards to find Queen Sindel to try and pull her back from this evil mindset. To do so, they have to first cross fists with Shiva, Sindel's bodyguard. Kitana defeats her no problem and then finds herself having to battle her own mother. The Edenian princess is once again successful, and she does manage to knock some sense into the queen. Like her daughter before her, Sindel remembers everything. Edenia, Jared, the evil that is Shao Kahn. But more than anything, she's so proud of the strong, capable fighter Kitana has become. Sindel joins the forces of light. But it's still not over because Melina manages to catch up with Kitana. Oh, you can bet her hideous clone is none too happy about being sent to the Netherrealm. And so we have a rematch between the two sisters that goes exactly like it did before.
Kitana wins.
Kitana kills Melina for a second time. And now she finds herself back in hell once again under the watchful eyes of Shinnok.
Of course.
Sub-Zero keeps dealing with his robotic hunters and at some point gets into a battle with Cyrax. Kuai Liang wins the encounter and then shows off how good he is with computers by completely reprogramming the yellow cyborg. He changes his directive to instead go against Shao Kahn. Cyrax joins the Forces of Light. It's unclear whether Sub-Zero and Smoke had a similar encounter, but I do know that he never got reprogrammed, and he ends Mortal Kombat 3 being a prisoner in Shao Kahn's fortress. And he would remain in that dungeon until Mortal Kombat Deception. Ouch.
Wow.
While scoping out Kahn's fortress,
Smoke's not really
Sonya
a
gets
popular
ambushed on a
character like that.
rooftop by her nemesis Kano. He roughs her up and thinks he has the battle won, but in reality, Sonya plays possum.
All right, Renzo gang, we're gonna stop it right here. That was part 3 of the Insane Lore Mortal Kombat. Part 3 was really good. I was enjoying it. But like I said, the first Mortal Kombat I've played, was Mortal Kombat 4, and that was on what was that? Nintendo 64. Because that was the first Mortal Kombat I've ever played. So the first 3 Mortal Kombats, they were all very new to me. Like I said, I started off on the 4th one. And Mortal Kombat 4, honestly, I cannot wait to get into this one. So, Renzo gang, I will see you guys the next time. I love y'all. Don't forget to hit that like button, share, comment, and subscribe to the video. Because y'all love my channel. Peace.